Museum en welkom in mijn studio. My name is Meryl Donoghue and I'm a British artist. I'm currently showing works at CODA Museum in the Netherlands as part of their heide and verre exhibition. In my art practice, I haven't really got a fixed medium and I make a lot of different kinds of work. I draw and I paint, I experiment with photographic processes, I make animatronic works with sound and video, I work with ceramics, I recently started working with stained glass. I just really love materials really and processes, and I try to learn all of the time, a mixture of different things, old craft as well as new technologies. At CODA, I'm showing a number of cyanotype works which were made using light-sensitive chemicals, and I'm also showing some photographic works which were made entirely using flatbed office scanners. Cyanotype is a photographic process that produces blueprints in sunlight or ultraviolet light through the combination of two chemicals, ferric ammonium citrate and potassium ferrocyanide. These chemicals become extremely sensitive to light when mixed together, and I've been using this technique for over the last 7 years and have mainly made pieces that are very large in scale, often using a mixture of digitally printed transparencies as well as real things to expose onto the paper. Traditionally, cyanotypes are blue and white, but I have experimented a lot in my work with coloured paper and fluorescence, as well as colour toning after the prints are made. I've made a number of large pieces using digitalis, which is a plant commonly known in England as foxgloves. For these pieces, I coated several sheets of paper with the solution and then laid them out in a line outside with the foxglove placed on top of the paper. I then left it exposing in the sun for about 8 minutes and then thoroughly washed the paper in water so that any trace of the chemical is gone. I can then collage these pieces into an arrangement to exhibit. These pieces really show the true scale of the foxglove plant. It is an immediate shadow or impression. Originally, cyanotypes were actually dubbed shadow grafts in England as they literally create a shadow or impression of whatever comes into contact with the paper. Making these cyanotype works could perhaps be seen as a departure from the digital photographic work that I've been making for over a decade. But really, I see the process of making cyanotypes as a kind of extension of my scanning work that I've always made. I've always used photocopiers and scanners to create images, and cyanotypes are a kind of scan to me. There is contact with a surface, there is light, and this creates image. All of the photographic works that you can see at CODA have been made up of thousands of flatbed photographic scans made using a simple A4 document scanner that you would find in an office, and I really like that aspect of the work, that it is accessible. It doesn't require some insane technology. It's very much grassroots stuff that you could find at home. I scan all sorts of things, objects, plants, people, animals, fabric, and then I composite all of these scans together to create my images. My photographic works will begin with a drawing or a sketch, and then this will provide the skeleton onto which I digitally composite and manipulate my scans. Mostly everything in this regard is done in Photoshop, and I layer up loads of scans in order to create what I want to create. I try to make something that's technically seamless image-wise so that you can't see the construction, so that the illusion is convincing but it's slightly off reality. It's a kind of plastic pop world. Nothing is really real there. I can create whatever I like. In terms of the animals and plants, I generally use things that I find on my walks. I find a lot of dead animals and bones, and I always have done for some reason. Maybe it's because I'm really looking for them. Like, I'm always looking when I'm walking in the woods or wherever I'm going. If I'm driving, I'll see something on the road and I'll stop the car and get it. I have quite a lot of labelled specimens in my freezer that I've found or that other people have dropped off to me. Sometimes they're even people's pets that they wanted me to have after they died. I've been working with dead things as material in my art practice for years now, and not just in the format of scanning them for a photographic piece. I made films of dead animals that were animated by the wind or by a tide. I have animated bones and animal parts with animatronics, bringing them back to life and creating new narratives for them. My work mainly comes from my own life experiences, something odd that I saw once, a story that was told to me, something that happened that made an impression, a place I visited, a film I watched as a child. It all contributes. Thank you, CODA, for visiting my studio. Tot ziens en blijf veilig.